Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We've had I know I'm a bit late getting to the chapter because it came out last week, but I just didn't have a day I could stream on. But yeah, it's a very exciting chapter. I hope everyone also enjoyed it as much as I did. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I think We've had a very, I know meeting. There we go, cool. So, hey, I see we've got, how many viewers? I never check how many viewers we have. We've got a whole 4 people. Don't know if that's good or not because I never look. But yeah, so chapter 84, I think we'll get right into just talking about how cool this chapter was with what I think the highlight for most people, I think, is Anubis. Anubis is real, even though they're not fighting, but people seem very hyped for Anubis's design. And, you know, me too, I think it's cool. I'm personally more hyped with Susanoo's design, actually. I think Susanoo is an absolute chad in the making. We're starting to get some comments coming in. So, Abudi, hello. You're always first here, and I appreciate it. Cass, hello. Yamil Diaz, hope I'm saying that right. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone else enjoyed the chapter, because I think it was a pretty hype chapter. It was a pretty hype chapter, considering it was a very short chapter, and all it was just people talking in meeting rooms. But, you know. So, I guess one question, is people hyped for round 10? Is Okuta versus Susanoo a fight people are looking forward to? Is it a fight you wanted? I mean, I assume you would have watched it, but I did a matchup video a couple of weeks ago. This was not one of the matchups that I predicted. Personally, I had Kintoki versus Susanoo and Okuta versus Odin. But to be honest, I think this was like my second favourite Okuta matchup. I was never a fan of Okuta versus Loki, so, you know, I'm pretty hyped with this matchup. And it also means that it means Kintoki versus Siegfried's a lot more likely now. And I guess I'm finally on the Simo versus Odin train, because that's like the only Simo matchup that makes sense to me now. So I've finally come around to that matchup. They really played up the dog aspect of Anubis. Yeah, I mean, considering that he doesn't actually have a jackal head, which I was calling from day one that he wouldn't actually have a jackal head, I think the design's really cool. I think they've incorporated the dog-like stuff to him really fun. As Zabudi says, he's incredibly unhinged, and I love it. He's a real chaotic character, which makes, if he does fight Rasputin, which still my bet for that matchup, should be pretty fun, because he'd be going up against a charlatan. So I think those two very unhinged personalities are gonna, you know, clash quite well together. But yeah, he doesn't have a jackal head, so that's fun. But the fact that everyone loves his design and it doesn't have a jackal head, I think is really cool, because I know a lot of people going on about how they were gonna. I read someone say a comment on Reddit, and like, if Anubis doesn't have a jackal head, I'm dropping the manga. And I'm like, well, maybe you've dropped it now, but I think Anubis's design is very cool. Not as cool as Susanoo's though. I love Susanoo's design. I haven't heard much fanfare about Susanoo. It's always seems to be about Anubis since this chapter, but I think Susanoo looks sick as hell. I also love his personality. Yeah, it's not what I expected. I expected Susanoo to be a bit more like Anubis, in that I expected him to be a bit of a unhinged ruffian type character, a bit wild like a storm. But no, he is a stubborn old stoic man, and I like it. I think it's gonna, like, the reason that I thought Odin versus Okuta was gonna be a cool matchup is the gapness between the young cheeky kids and like the old stoic man, and we still have that with Susanoo. Susanoo is this older guy, so I still think that gapness works well. As where are we up to? The piercing's incredible. Yeah, the piercings just look great. The whole design is just sick. In mythology, Susanoo's quite wild and savage. Yeah, like I was saying, that's kind of what I expected him to be like. But I think there's a good chance that he might be like that in his flashbacks, and then like there's a good, like, we might see him as like a younger ruffian. I don't know. It's really early to say, but I'm liking him so far. The fact that he just kept saying, "Yeah, I'm going. I don't care, Anubis." It's a very stellar introduction, and considering that. Although I will say, considering Anubis's introduction was basically used to make Susanoo look even cooler, and the fact that Anubis still came out looking as cool as they did says a lot, I think. But that is a thing to say now, that we have the designs of every god fighter now. I think actually I could be, yeah, Rasputin's the only fighter we haven't got the design of now. Unless, yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Why does Susanoo look like a buff Sasaki? Well, they're both a samurai, and I think yeah, it's a cool design. I'm looking forward to seeing. Yeah, I wonder what his sword looks like under there. It'd be really, I think it'd be really. It's probably not gonna. He's probably gonna have a normal katana, but imagine if he just had a wooden kendo sword under all those bandages. That'd be pretty fun. I genuinely cannot wait to see if such how Susanoo acts. Actor throwing a skinned horse into his sister's bedroom as a prank is shown in the manga. Yeah, that would be pretty funny, let's be honest. I love when Anubis and Susanoo have the opposite personalities based on how people thought they would be in the greatest subversion record Ragnarok has done. Yeah, actually, yeah, now you think about it, they are just kind of like the complete opposites of what you'd expect. And I like that a lot. Third storm god after Thor and Zeus, also another serpent slayer. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess Zeus in the manga itself isn't actually a storm god. Like he's a cosmos god instead. So I guess that's to kind of change it. And it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of make Susanoo more of like a wind god part of the storm, and then Thor's just the lightning thunder part to differentiate them. But if you want to go with some, if he's like Thor and Zeus, then you could say he wins this match, which I think would be incredibly unlikely. I'd love it if actually no, that's hard. I'd say I'd love it for the gods to win because that'd be a massive subversion. But then it would mean that the humans would then basically have a clean sweep until the finals. So I don't see the gods actually winning this match. And at the same time, I don't want Okuta to lose because I know how much people don't like Okuta, so I want Okuta to be an absolute badass. But who do you think? What do you think about the Okuta's title, strongest manslayer in history? Now, before anyone starts going on about how this makes Okuta stronger than Lu Bu because he killed people, or Qin Shi Huang because he killed people, a lot of the titles are just hyperbole. Like, that's just how it is. Like, if you want to use just title scaling, then Lu Bu's the strongest human. That's just it. But I think it's a really for what his title. What I was expecting his title to be something more like the greatest. I don't know. I was thinking more something about his role as a Shinsengumi, so more like a police officer. But him being a manslayer, I think is even cooler. And I cannot believe this. I think I said in my video that this is just not going to be relevant. But Okuta dying of tuberculosis is actually a plot point, and I find that hilarious. Because like we see, like when we see him reflection on Leonidas's death, and we see him, a flashback to his death when assumably Kondo's being executed, and he's just dying of tuberculosis in his bed. And I really didn't expect that to actually be relevant because people meme about him dying of tuberculosis a lot, but I guess tuberculosis scaling is a thing. Where are we up to round 10 humans, round 11 gods, Anubis for the win. Yeah, I think this really ups the possibility. Well, considering that only one god, well, if we're going under the assumption that the humans win, which is what I think is I don't think it's the most interesting, but I think it's most likely, I would say that the gods will win the penultimate match, maybe. The gods probably only have one win left in them, to be honest. So that would probably be Anubis. I'd like it to be Anubis. Odin can die, so can Loki. So yeah, Anubis for the win in round 11. Why these two designs go hard, now I want them to win, but if you get revealed before your fight, you're winning in the series, exception being Hades. Look, I don't think any of the trends are right. What did we have? We had the cover trend where if the numbers on you on the first cover you appear on, you lose or something, and then Apollo broke that. We had the Greek one that got broken with Apollo. There's the spear user thing, which I believe is still every spear user has died. I think that's still correct, but I don't believe either of these two are going to be using a spear in their fight. So who knows? But to be fair, if you get revealed for a fight, you're winning. Could be true. I don't know. Hard to say. The almost untamed nature of Anubis kind of plays into how he's an untamed force of nature, being deaf and whatnot. If he does end up fighting Rasputin, the theme of taming nature could be a fun read. That's a very cool idea. I like that a lot. Yeah, Anubis. I'm curious to see what weapon Anubis will use in his fight, because he usually uses like a people were saying he'd use a cane, but I don't think he's going to be using a cane given what we've seen of him so far. God's winning would be awesome in the end. The irony of Brunhild calling them scared and her losing would be funny in a sadistic way. Oh, I think it'd be a lot more interesting if the gods do win. I just don't think it will happen. As much as I praise Record of Ragnarok's like character writing and theme writing, in terms of the actual plot, it's about as predictable as it can like, and it's about as by the books as this kind of manga can be. Like, I think most people saw there being a traitor from a mile away because that's just a very tropey thing for these. And just considering how the series is written, I think it will just be humanity wins and big catharsis. I think that is just where the series is heading. But I'd love to be wrong about that. I'm thinking Simo versus Anubis, to be honest, for round 11. Simo versus Anubis was never something I was particularly behind. Now that we've seen Anubis, I'm still not 100% for it. But Simo I find so hard to match up. Like, at the moment I'm saying Odin, but I really can't place Simo with many people. I don't know. Nothing really seems to click for me. I wonder if they will include the kamikaze, the divine wind typhoon that destroys the Mongol invasion of Japan, as an event related to Susanoo. Yeah, they could do. The thing is, like in terms of what they choose, they could choose something that just didn't happen, like with Qin Shi Huang, for his stuff, or they could choose like one very specific thing, like Apollo. They chose him defeating Python, which is, I'd say there's more important things that happen in Apollo's myths than just that. If I had to guess with Susanoo, well, I'm guessing so assumably Okutas will be related to his death. I'd make sense to what the climax of his flashback would be. I imagine we'll probably see some of his time with Kondo and then probably his death, I imagine. So it would probably have to be something that like foils that. So I don't know. Also, the fact that Okuta's a manslayer, it wouldn't surprise me if Susanoo was a godslayer. Like, his flashback relates to some war where he had to murder a load of his other gods. Maybe he could have murdered Raijin or something. I don't know. Again, it's really hard to predict these flashbacks a lot of the time. The murder hobo finally takes his turn after 5 long years. It's been 5 years, God. Yeah, well, murder hobo's gonna wreck shit, and I'm very excited for the murder. Well, the fact we call him a murder hobo, and now we know that he's humanity's greatest manslayer. So it's actually a very fitting nickname. FaZe Diego, hello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Anime Master, good to see you here. When Adam lost, Sasaki came in saying he was going to fight next and won his match. Okuta did the same thing. So what if he loses to be the reverse of Sasaki? I mean, as soon as he pulls up, I was like, this is a clear Sasaki parallel. It's pretty funny that it's hilarious though, because Nostradamus pulls up and like, can I fight? And Brunhild's like, no. But if you're a samurai and you pull up and say I'm fighting, she's like, I'll leave it to you, which I find quite funny. But yeah, he could do the reverse. It could do. I just really don't see the humans losing this match. I think this is about as guaranteed. I think this is about as guaranteed a human win as last match was as guaranteed a god win. But this could be the draw match. We still have the draw match, guys. Every match we go on about the draw match. AMV University. I'm sad Sun Wukong ain't pulled up. I would have compared him to Morijin. Yeah, I feel if Wukong ever would have shown up, it would have been related to Buddha. He's just he's just too relevant to Buddha in mythology that if he was going to show up still, I assumed he would have already. But, you know, technically, if we want to go with if the draw does happen or we get another match somehow, the gods still do technically need an extra fighter. So, could be some Wukong. You can't count it out. I would love to see a new environment for this round, like Meiji Era Japan or Snowy Finnish Mountains for Simo. Yeah, well, it is just round 4, isn't it, where we got like a proper cool, unique arena. So I wouldn't count on it. And if we do only get like one more, I'd rather it be for Simo's round, but it would be cool. AMV University, if you had to add any other gods and humans to the roster, I would add Sun Wukong, King Arthur, Lancelot. Oh, shit. I did promise the next stream would be the fan roster. I've had a very busy month, and I kind of forgot. Before next chapter, we will 100% do the fan roster stream. I will write a note of it after the stream. We will get that done. I just thought about that. But for my personal picks, I'll just limit it to one of each. If I could add a human, I'd add Casanova as humanity's greatest rascal. I think he'd be hilarious. Very trickster fighter. And for a god, there's so many cool gods. I would probably add... trying to think, probably Quetzalcoatl. I think that'd be just... I want to add another pantheon on there. Or maybe Ishtar, maybe a Mesopotamian god. Can't wait to see the Shinshigami back up, Okuta, and cheer him on. Saito Hajame's designing Requiem of the Shogun is so attractive, I want to marry him. Yeah, I'm curious how many of the Shinshigami we're actually going to see, because obviously they all have designs in Requiem of the Shogun, so I'm curious. Like, I'm assuming Hajime we'll see, and we will see... oh god, I forget... What's his name? Hijikata. I'm sure we'll see those two because they're quite prominent. But I'm curious which of the other ones we might get to see. Susanoo was indeed an outcast of the Kami gods after the incident with his sister Amaterasu. Yeah, he got banished. Yeah, he got banished down. I think in some legends he was raised by like an old couple, which I thought could be something in his flashback, and it could relate to how Okuta was raised by Kondo. Just a thought. Brunhild Japanese bias confirmed. Brunhild is an otaku. I'm surprised she didn't sleep with Raiden, to be honest with you. God, we've got loads of people in here because I'm struggling to catch up on these comments, guys. Imagine the final fight ends in a tie, and as a result, they go to the rule book and it tells them to restart the tournament, causing 13 more duels. I feel if we got... I'd love that. That'd be hilarious. I don't think that's going to happen. But it wouldn't... We could... to be fair, it could just end on a tie and then we get the rules saying something. That could happen. I don't think we get 13 more fights. Though, as you say, Babe Ruth coming to fight would be hilarious. Honestly, if I'm being... Considering that Babe Ruth got cut for Rasputin, I personally would rather see Babe Ruth than Rasputin. I know a lot of people are really hyped for Rasputin, so sorry for that, but it would be hilarious. I heard someone thought Jin was going to betray the humans is the equivalent of Gojo betraying in JJK. Jin betraying was just... It was based on, like, nothing. I think it's just because we just had Buddha betray, and people are like, well, human traitor, it's probably going to be Jin. It's almost as funny as the theory that Hermes poisoned Qin Shi Huang. Because Hermes is the Greek version of Mercury, and Mercury was what actually killed Qin Shi Huang in real life. It's a hilarious theory, but I don't think that was ever going to happen. I've recently caught up to Ragnarok. How many times have people predicted the round would end in a draw? I'd say draw match. I've only been active in the community since the end of round 6. And round 7, people going about a draw. Round 8, people going about a draw. And round 9, people going about a draw. It's kind of just because we need the draw. We either need a draw. If we're going to get I'm stumbling on my words here, guys. Sorry. If we have all the current humans on the roster to fight, then we need a 14th round. And the only way that works is if a human betrays, a human doesn't fight, or we get an extra round somehow, and the most likely way to get an extra round would be a draw. And like just having a draw in these types of stories is just quite a common trope anyway, so it really wouldn't surprise me. Who in Ragnarok would be the best father, excluding Adam? Yeah, obviously we have to exclude Adam. I think Apollo would be quite a good father, to be honest. I think he'd be quite cool. In terms of other characters, Lubu probably not. Thor, I don't imagine so. Zeus is a father. He doesn't seem like a great one. Sasaki probably not. Poseidon definitely not. Jack low-key could be. Heracles would be great. Raiden, I think Raiden would be a good father. Shiva probably. I don't know. Ganesha seems pretty hyped with his dad. In their round. Qin Shi Huang would probably be really cool. Hades is a great brother, so he'd probably be a great dad as well. Buddha, obviously. I'm not sure about Zero. Hajun would be best father, 100%. Maybe Leo. I'm not too sure about him. But so I guess best father. It's actually a hard one. I'm gonna say Apollo. I don't know why, but I feel Apollo would be. Uh, my guy, Casanova is a good one. Yeah. Anyone who hasn't read the history of Casanova, read it. That guy was such an interesting, not a great guy. He was a pretty horrible person, really. But the adventures he went on were absolutely hilarious. I can't believe I've been sleeping on this series. This shit is phenomenal. Yeah, Corey G, I'm glad you're on board now because Ragnarok is amazing. It is funny whenever I talk to people who've only seen they only know it from the anime, and they're like, why do you cover this series? It's shit. And I'm like, I mean, I know in the animes, well, it's pretty bad. It's not the worst thing ever, but I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand why people have this preconceived notion of what the series is like. Where am I up to? For humans, I'd add Machiavellia. That's a sick choice. And I'd add Freya. Yeah, Freya's a good choice. In all, we just need more females in the roster, to be completely honest. I must admit. Can we all agree that Anubis is too cool to get rid of? Forget the Norse and they can die. My Anubis stay also. What about Horus or Ra? Hope we get to see them in the flashback. Oh, I want Anubis. If there's any god left I want to win, I want Anubis to win. Because Anubis is absolute Chad. For Horus and Ra, we must at least see some Egyptians, like, at least in the stands, cheering Anubis on. It'd be really weird if we didn't, considering we got quite a few Hindu ones for Shiva. And we obviously didn't get it for Apollo, but that's because, he's Greek, and there's loads of Greeks anyway, and we didn't get it for Beelzebub because there's no other prominent gods from that. There's no other predominant gods that anyone really knows about from that mythology either. I would add Anansi the spider as a god. That's an interesting choice. I'm all for it. And Spartacus as a human. Spartacus would be cool. Weirdly, Spartacus probably fits Leonidas' moniker better. The greatest rebel in history. That seems like a more fitting title for him, actually, if you think about it. And if we got Spartacus, we get Crixus in the manga as well. And Crixus is an absolute Chad. I'm starting to catch up with these comments. People thought Chin would be a traitor. Yeah. It was a weirdly common theory. I think now if anyone has traitor theories, it's usually for Rasputin. It's not really based on anything, but yeah, people used to think Chin would be a traitor for some reason. I'm trying to start doing webtoon reviews next. Any suggestions? Also, my first video will be Morijin versus Goku character videos. Start doing webtoon reviews. Yeah, go for it. The thing with reviews and stuff is you just gotta keep going with them and just plod them out. Your first probably they don't tend to get too many views, but as soon as you get one that kind of blows up, people a lot of the time, no matter who the person is, they just people watch reviews generally of chapters and stuff because they just want, at least in my experiences, they either want confirmation of the stuff they liked in the chapter, so people agreeing them about the cool parts, or they want people to justify their opinions on it. So with reviews and stuff, I find that as soon as some people watch one and they enjoy it, they're probably going to keep coming back because they just want to hear things. I don't do chapter review videos anymore. I just don't have the time to be pumping them out as quickly as the chapters come out. But I did used to do them on the channel long ago, and I think they're quite good. In terms of doing webtoon content, though, I think there needs to be more. There's not enough webtoon content compared to normal anime and manga content. So, we definitely need more on the platform. And for Morijin versus Goku, sounds like a fun video. I'll have to check it out once it's up. Leo is a military dad, 100%. Yeah, any of Leo. Well, I assume in real life, Leo's kid did just get sent into the army immediately. If I'm remembering correctly, his son was fairly notable as a soldier. I could be wrong. I know his son did something. And I know Apollo would box his kid in the face until he's beautiful like Squidward getting his head slammed in the door. Apollo would teach good lessons to his son. That's all I'll say. I can imagine Leonidas telling his son to drop and do 50 for not washing the dishes or something. It's 100% what Leo would do. Can't deny. Also, can we appreciate Chin's mum is bad? I saw a manga extra in the leaks of her looking for Chin. Yeah, she is. I'll say no more, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Beelzebub is the head of the Philistine pantheon because he's the only one. There we go. Exactly, that says it all, doesn't it? Who would you personally want to be your father? Well, obviously Adam, because he's all our father. But if I can't pick Adam, I don't know. Most of the humans are just murder hobos. Most of the humans are still murder hobos at the end of the day. Oh, Tesla. I completely forgot. Yeah, it'd be Tesla. Tesla, 100%. Tesla would be just a great dad in general. I don't know how I forgot Tesla. Must admit, I don't know how I forgot him. Bale, so tragic. His backstory hurt my heart. Well, Corey G, you are in the weird minority that likes him. There's so many people that just hate him for some reason. I personally like Beelzebub quite a bit, but a lot of people just hate him for some reason. Bro, can we add Kratos to the roster? Kratos would just go... Kratos wouldn't join the roster. Kratos would just go into the meeting room and just kill all the gods in there. Is Buddha considered the head of the Hindu pantheon, or is it Shiva? It's Shiva. Shiva's just called their chief. Buddha's just the head of Buddhism. That's just it. Obviously, chief gods don't have to be just from one pantheon anyway, because Hades is also Greek, the same as Zeus. And whenever like Buddha's textbooks comes up, it just says Buddhism, not Hinduism. Shiva would make more sense. Yeah. As far as we've been told, it's Shiva. When I saw Chun Yang for the first time in Chin's backstory, my jaw dropped. Yeah. There are some fine women in Ragnarok. You know. But speaking of fine women... Actually, no. That's probably not... Speaking of women, can we all just respect how amazing Gaul was in this chapter? The Gaul character development has actually happened, and I'm all for it. Like, it's just the complete flip of her and Brunhild's reaction to the defeat of Leo is just amazing. I'm all for it. Great development on Gaul's part. There's a reason Gaul's is possibly my top 5 favorite characters of the manga. She is going to be top tier by the end of the series. Absolute chass. I love Beelzebub. Good. Because a lot of people don't. If you were in Ragnarok, what would you want to be known as? For example, Seth, humanity's greatest analyst. You have the ability to analyze your opponents and instantly figure out their weaknesses. I mean, you've already said it. That's a pretty good one. I haven't got many great physical traits in terms of battle or like physical ability, so I probably wouldn't be known for any of those things. Yeah, greatest analyst. I like that a lot. I will probably get one shot by any of the gods though. Basically I'd just be... You'd want to throw me out against Zeus or Odin or one of the really strong gods, so nobody else has to die fighting them. The first webtoon will be solo leveling. I also review Ragnarok. Also Gojo vs Sukuna. It's Shiva vs Buddha. Also Beelzebub is awesome. Who hates him? So I haven't read solo leveling yet. I need to. One of my friends she's a massive solo leveling fan. She does some good solo leveling cosplays as well. She's really nice, good friend of mine, and she's been telling me to read it for absolutely ages. So I will get on it soon. Also review Ragnarok. Also great. We need more. We need as many people reviewing it as possible. And what was that? Gojo vs Sukuna is Shiva versus Buddha. Yeah, fair enough. God, these comments are going well too fast. And who hates Beelzebub? No one in this stream, I think, hates Beelzebub. Basically, a lot of my association with the Ragnarok community is on Reddit, and the Redditors, they hate Beelzebub and they hate Okuta. Those two they just despise for some reason. Every time Chun Yang appears on screen, I become straight again. Bloody Corey G, Goal, my girl. Goal is just great. Abudi here too. Goal development. She's locked in. Goal is just Goal is going to be absolutely shredding in the final round with Kentoki fighting Siegfried. It's going to be great. The two other cool options would be Edward Teach, Blackbeard, the greatest pirate for the humans, and Maui, the Polynese demigod for the gods. Oh, Maui versus Blackbeard would be cool. Blackbeard would be cool just because you could have him... Blackbeard's got some pretty cool history, but if his flashback was just him just robbing the gentleman pirate of his ship and just sailing off of it, would be hilarious, because that's something that happened in real life, and it was pretty funny. In terms of other cool pirates, though, I also think Henry Avery would be a really cool option because Henry Avery's like the real life Goldie Roger from One Piece. Like, he was pretty cool. We formed this Pirates Paradise, absolute Chad, and then as far as I'm aware, he never got caught. He just retired and died, which most pirates didn't get to do. And Maui would be really cool. That's a really cool idea. Again, guys, keep these ideas for next stream when we actually do the fan roster. So we got some cool ideas for that. Gaul was badass in this chapter. I thought she would break down further, but she's amazing. Yeah, it's like considering that like Brunhild, like it's so cool because in the first few rounds, Brunhild's actually no, is Brunhild that composed? Maybe not. She was eating all those pies at the end of round 2, actually. But it's the fact that Gold's becoming this strong one where... See, I really like the idea of Brunhild dying in the penultimate round. I know some people think she'll be the Volund for Siegfried and he fights for the gods. Whatever the way, I do... Actually, no. I think 2 cool ways. If the final round is Siegfried versus Kintoki and Kintoki's Volund is Gaul and Siegfried's is Brunhild, that would be amazing. That would be really cool. Or alternatively, Brunhild dies as the Volund in the penultimate match and then Gaul actually has to step up herself. But this seems to be a really good idea for what's the word? For her development. But we are going on the way and I love it. Also, I'm glad Shiva got his arms back, meaning Chin will probably give commentary for round 10, hopefully. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. It's like they got some really good medical equipment here if they can just regenerate his arms like that. But I'm all for it. And yeah, I want Chin commentary really bad. I want Chin commentary and I want proper Nostradamus commentary because we get Nostradamus saying the odd thing, but I want like proper commentary for Nostradamus. I think that'd be really fun. Gojo versus Beelzebub is a fun matchup. Can Beelzebub hurt Gojo? So that's all I'll say. I don't honestly, to be fair, if in terms of cross verse matches for regular Ragnarok, it's hard enough doing in universe because the feats and statements are never consistent, and the feats themselves aren't even consistent. So you know, actually scaling regular Ragnarok's an absolute pain in the ass. What do you think of Kenjaku versus Takaba? I won't say too much because I don't know if everyone here is caught up to JJK, so I don't want to spoil anyone. I will say, up there for my favourite fight in JJK. Absolutely amazing fight. Really enjoyed it the whole way through. Yeah, that's probably easily top 5, if not top 3 best fights in JJK for me. Bro, the Reddit community for anything is always so toxic. Yeah, but that's kind of the joy of the Reddit community. The Reddit community is toxic as hell, but it's if you bathe in that toxicity, it's quite fun. I will say the regular Ragnarok fandom on Reddit isn't the worst I've seen. It's quite, as long as you're not praising Qinshi Huang too much, Beelzebub or Okuta, they're generally quite nice on there. But yeah, I would agree Reddit is not the it's becoming like the new Twitter. Oh, sorry, X. You got Okuta fight finally. Yeah, Okuta is funny. It's kind of, I don't really know why Okuta was revealed so early on the series. If they were going to fight now, I don't know, but you know, I'm glad they're actually fighting now. Luffy versus Buddha would be cool. Yeah, that'd be. I'm just thinking of how those two would interact. I think they'd be quite funny. That'd be a pretty fun match, and the match would focus on their ideas of freedom. Yeah, well, I think that's quite good because although Luffy is like this embodiment of freedom, yeah, I think it's more like a subconscious thing for him. Like, I don't think he has like this active idea of this is what I think freedom is. He's like living freedom, whereas Buddha is someone who like reached enlightenment, and so he understood freedom. So it's kind of like one who consciously came to understand freedom, one who subconsciously understands freedom, which I think is pretty cool. Where are we up to? I'm looking at Smite. We can add. I'm looking at Smite. We can add. I got you next stream, bro. Use that as a reference. Okay, cool. Abudi Valhalla Doctors built different. Yeah, they are. They're onto some stuff with this full arm healing. Beelzebub's vibration is so cool. I love the way it works. Yeah, Beelzebub's vibrations. I kind of wish we saw a little more from them, like technically, just because of all the cool stuff Tesla was doing. I know Beelzebub did quite a few cool things, but I think there's some other like cool aspects you could have done with his vibrations to make them even cooler. But overall, it's a great match, so I'm not trying to diss on anything in it. Can't wait Yamato no Orochi and Susanoo's backstory. Yeah, that's another thing I'd quite like to see. Again, there's so much to Susanoo has such a rich mythology that I wouldn't get my hopes up for like one specific thing happening, but you'd hope Yamato Orochi would get mentioned. If it doesn't show up directly in the flashback, it'll definitely at least get mentioned in like his intro when he's walking into the stage. They'll say, "The man who slayed all 8 heads of Yamato no Orochi," or something like that. Check out Sensei Beats. He has the best record of Ragnarok rap. Raiden, Qinshi Huang, Beelzebub being the best ones. I will give those a look after stream. Thanks. One hand for offense, one hand for defense. It's perfect. Yeah, I think it's because it's obviously the idea of the unbreakable shield and unstoppable spear. I just feel... I think it's because Chaos came into it as well, and Chaos adds another element that, although it was using vibrations, it just wasn't... I feel that aspect of his 2 weapons, I would have liked if they were more focused on than Chaos, but then Chaos is pretty cool anyway, so... I don't know, I think overall Beelzebub was a very cool character. I want to post Chin, Okuta, and Beelzebub respect threads now. Yeah, I mean, as a massive Qin Shi Huang fan and a massive Okuta fan, I'm always fighting their corners for them, don't worry about that. The only joy P when it comes to Reddit is when you look back at Convo 5 or 10 years later and be amused by the wild speculation. Yeah, the speculation in the Reddit is pretty hilarious. As I said earlier in the stream, with Hermes poisoning Qin Shi Huang, the fact people were like genuinely convinced that's what happened, and I'm like, no, not because it's a bad idea. I think it's a really cool, clever idea, but it's just not how the story's written. Someone's not going to lose their match because they got poisoned by Hermes beforehand. Though, speaking of Hermes, he was eavesdropping on the humans this chapter, and I'm still very much of the opinion Hermes is an absolute top tier in the verse, and I think this adds more credence to it. I think he's a lot more important than a lot of people seem to think he is. The human having extra fighter makes me feel Siegfried might be the backup god fighter in case they get desperate. Yeah, I think, considering if we do get the extra round, we need another god fighter, and the only real prominent gods that it could be is Adamus, who I think we can all agree wouldn't be... I think most people agree we don't want Adamus fighting, because it's Adamus. Could be Aphrodite, but I just don't see that all that likely. And I think Siegfried just makes sense, especially if it's for the final match, because then it could be demigod versus demigod, and I think thematically that works quite well. Okta versus Susanoo is going to be the best sword fight. Yeah, I think it's gonna, because we haven't had like a proper sword on sword fight yet, so I think that could be quite fun. Can Beelzebub's vibration bypass Gojo's Limitless? No, it shouldn't do. The way Limitless works is it's not that your attacks getting blocked. It's that every time your attack is about to touch you, the distance basically gets bigger and bigger without getting bigger. So it's basically the vibrations would just get slowed down, so they wouldn't actually hit it. And like, even though the vibrations are like sound waves, like vibration in the air, sound still gets through Limitless because it's not perceived as an attack. And so, but because the vibrations is literally an attack, it would just get stopped by Limitless. There's not really... The only ways to really bypass Limitless is basically to manipulate the space, like space itself. So I do not believe Beelzebub would be able to damage Gojo, at least with vibrations. Here's a question for long predictions for Okuta and who's his Valkyrie. I'm going to assume it's a sword. I'm going to assume it's a katana for Okuta. In terms of which Valkyrie it is, let me pull up the Valkyrie silhouettes. I did have one in mind, but I can't remember what they look like now. Yeah, I was moaning about this on stream the other day, but it's annoying that we don't get revealed to the Valkyries before their matches, because we can't really what's the word? We can't really do many predictions because we've only got their silhouettes. Because out of the ones we have remaining, there's the one with like the big like ball gown dress, and there's another lolly looking one. I'm gonna guess the lolly looking one, but it could be the other one. It's basically one of those two because it's not Gaul and it isn't Brunheld. The third twin of Flock and Alvatar. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah. Hermes seems like a genuinely cool guy. Yeah, but he's also sus. I agree with Corey G. Very sus. At the end of round 9, Leonidas punched Apollo and it did no damage. So that means without their weapons, most human fighters are just vaguely above peak human, with the exception of Lubu and Adam. I'd add Qin Shi Huang into that because in terms of characters that... like there's two characters who killed gods without Volons. One's Adam, who killed a god who... Well, I don't know. It depends. You count the serpent as a god. Either way, I think Adam without a Volon can still damage gods. And we see Qin Shi Huang kill a god in his flashback as well. So those two at least can. For Leo's punch... Well, the thing is, do Volons... I don't know if it's ever been explained. Sorry if I'm forgetting something. Does the Volons just give you the ability to hurt gods outside of it? Because, like, Apollo... Like, Leonidas does damage Apollo without using his weapon. Like, when he does headbutt him and do damage during... It's right before he makes him kneel. So, I don't know. In terms of that final punch, obviously, I don't think that was Leo's full strength, considering he was dead at that point. His chest was shattering. I think that moment with the powerless punch is just more thematically like a poetic thing rather than like a purely power scaling thing. But you can definitely make an argument for that, off of that. But at the same time, we did see we saw Leo punch a statue, like a massive statue, and it just completely shattered. So I think saying Leo's slightly above peak human would be a bit of a disservice to what we've seen of him. For the fan roster, I've got Aokong, Hibu, Sobek, and Osiris, Ravana, and Tsukiyomi. Okay, I do not know some of those, so I'll have to do my research. But yeah, the fan roster stream. It sounds like we've got some good picks already for that. Hermes is just chill like that in his Black Butler aesthetic. He's too busy. He's too busy being goated. Let's all not forget how good Hermes was on that violin, to the point that, was it Bach or was it Mozart? It was someone that he played their music so much and so good they were like, oh my god, you've ascended my music in round 2. Animus would be cool. He is basically a cyborg, artificial, while other gods are more mystical. He would be different due to cybernetics. Oh, I think Animus would be a cool fighter. I just don't like Animus. I think most people don't like Animus because he's an arsehole. And I don't think he's worthy of being like the final fighter of Ragnarok, personally. I just think he's a bit of a loser, but he could be. And if he does fight, I assume it'll be very cool because I can't think of any fighters that have just been a letdown. I get some people might say Hades, but I think all the fights have been pretty cool. Okuta has 2 katanas, right? Maybe I'd have to check the panel. Honestly, I don't know. Some samurai used to have 2 swords. Okuta. It'd be cool if he did, but I'm considering that Musashi is like the one that was played up for having 2 swords. He does have in Requiem of Shogun, he definitely has 2 swords. In Record of Ragnarok, he's only got 1. Okay, yeah. So in the other manga, he does have 2 swords, but every time he's appeared in this manga, he's only had the 1. And even so, the one he has on him isn't his Voland. It's just another sword, I guess. Although, can we talk about what the hell is Kondo's weird giant butcher's knife thing? What the hell is that meant to be? I have a feeling his Voland would be something speed orientated. It could be. It would be cool if it was something that was good with a quick draw or something like that. Corey Okta, where we're up to. Can we talk about how Leonidas dodged the damn light arrow? Like, if we don't want to break the power scaling, it was... Well, I guess even in story, it's precognition, so he's not actually light speed. But at the same time, like, Adam surpasses time. Again, I say don't think too seriously about the feats and the statements because they don't really make any sense consistently. I will say that Leo is way more if you remember, those are light speed arrows, and they are said to be the, like, they basically said unless it was Zeus, no god would be able to like survive getting hit by those. I think it really does like hold up Leo up, because people seem to really people seem to put Leo as like the second weakest human, like only like stronger than Jack, which I don't agree with, but I guess that's what people say. Chin beats Adam confirmed. People don't like. People downrate Chin's power as well a lot. As much as I love to shit on Leonidas because it's funny, but I got to give him his flowers. Yeah, I love Leo. I understand why people shit on him for some things, but you know he's very cool. I love calling him the discount endeavor. Yeah, I could see the similarities, I must admit. I think Okuta is his Kikimonjo. Is that the name of his sword or something? Sorry, I don't know. It's like a cleaver. Kondo is a chef. He needs his cleaver to cook. I don't know if you're joking or not, but if that... Yeah, Kondo's cooking. 1 minute, guys. I've just got to let this cat out. What if, though, guys, I just thought about this. What if Okuta's Voland is just Kondo, and Kondo just goes in the ring with him, and they just tag team Susanoo? That'd be pretty funny. He redirected him off instincts. He wasn't. Leo isn't faster than Light. Like, he's not like, he's just precog where they can be, which is still an incredibly impressive feat. Leo is the fastest human besides Adam. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I think scaling speed is very difficult. I'd maybe say Sasaki, but you know, hard. Daily letting his cat out interim. I feel like I do it every stream. It's not my fault. The cat just has to come in and out. Oh shit! I've just realised those. I didn't put those purposely. I've just been blocking out. I just realised the oh, that's a spoiler. There's some legs on the bed. I've just realised they're there. I was doing some work on them for a second channel video, so just ignore those. I forgot those were there. That would be hard, I can't lie. I have no idea what that is in respect for, but yeah. Record of jumped the rock. I'm convinced that they had to wrap up round 9 for the anime, which we won't get at least 2026. I've heard a lot of people say that. I'd like to think it isn't because of that, but at the same time it very well could be. It could just be they want to write a shorter round. I think what will really, considering round 8 was a very, very long round, I have a feeling, was it the longest round? I feel it might have been. It's definitely up there for one of the longest rounds. And I think it depends how long this next round is. If this round's also quite short, it wouldn't surprise me if the authors are just trying to wrap the story up a bit. But it could just be it was a very short round. It is, like, it's technically the shortest round by chapter length, but by page length it isn't. Because if you ever look at Ragnarok chapters, they're wildly different in page count. It's quite staggering when you actually look at it. I'm an art lover, so I just got to give credit to all the people who make Ragnarok fan art. They be Cooking Man. Oh yeah, Ragnarok has some absolutely sick fan art. It's really cool stuff. I'm a big fan art guy. I love me some fan art. It's great stuff. Meliodas versus Beelzebub makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Yeah. God, they are incredibly similar characters now that you mention it. Yeah, they are. I didn't think about that. Not every round needs to be 15 chapters long. God, I got sick of round 8. Yeah. Round 8 was very, very long. And I'm not sure why it was. Like, it's weird, because if you think back about round 8, like, I know it's objectively a very long round. It just doesn't feel like a very long round, because not that much actually happens in it. It's probably because of how long Beelzebub's backstory was, I guess. But yeah, But yeah, I'm perfect myself. Maybe if round 9 got like one extra chapter, I think that'd be nice. But I'm not someone who thinks round 9 is incredibly rushed. I think it could have used a little more room to breathe, but I'm pretty happy with it. I do seem to be a massive round 9 defender, because at least on Reddit, most people didn't like round 9 much. But you know, it is what it is. Seeing as you like mythology, try God of High School. You've got a bunch of mythology. Also, its power system is similar to Valon. I've been meaning to read God of High School for a while. I watched the anime for it when it came out a couple of years ago, but I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but it's on my list. Like, man, I saw this art of a younger Hades taking care of baby Zeus, Adamus, and Poseidon, and oh my god, it warmed my heart. Yeah. Maybe get rid of the Adamus out of that fan, that would be better. But actually, that's one thing I was thinking about the other day. Because in verse, Hades is one of the 12 Olympians, 13 Olympians, which in mythology isn't a thing. Generally, in most myths, Hades isn't one of them. And then I thought, well, who's he replacing? And then I realised, oh, he's probably replacing Artemis, because Artemis, assumably isn't actually a goddess in this verse. Which means it's Hades' fault that Artemis doesn't exist. That's what I've come to the conclusion of. Poseidon fan artist, feed me good all the time on Twitter. We got a subscribe from Tulak, a word. I'm pretty sure that there's not someone watching the stream that subscribed. I think it's just someone who's just subscribed to the channel. But, gotta say anyway. Poseidon fan artist, feed me good all the time on Twitter. Well, Poseidon has a lot of fangirls and a lot of simps. So there's some really hot fan art of him. 1 minute, it's the usual, it's the interim again. I've got to let the cat back in this time. Come here. Ugh. I'm going to sit here for a minute, cat. I love round 9 because Apollo won. Yeah, well, at least you didn't word it, I love round 9 because Leonidas lost. So at least that's something. If all Valons give the same amp and Adam pre-Valond was able to kill a god, then that means Adam with a Valond is much stronger than any of the human fighters we've seen. Possibly, I don't know. I don't know how the Valons work. It's never explained. Do they give a general amp? I feel like my cat is getting in the way of the microphone. There, that might sound a bit better. Yeah, I don't know how Valons work. It's not really explained. Ragnarok does not have consistency in terms of its power scaling. I said that a lot for a reason. Sun Wukong is a god. I'm surprised hasn't been mentioned yet. Yeah, I feel if he was ever mentioned, it would have been when Buddha was relevant. So I don't think he's going to show up, which is a shame. But there's so many gods that would be cool. Like Quetzalcoatl's a big one. Ishtar or any of the Mesopotamian gods. Although technically in the Lubu spin-off, there's a load of bandits named after Mesopotamian gods. So that's kind of something. Nah, Booty, reckon Ragnarok men be making me question my sexuality. I mean, Apollo is quite something. Yeah. Oh, God, come on, cat. A cat is being an absolute pain as usual. Also will suggest god name. It's basically Ragnarok but Hunger Games style. Okay, I'll have to look. I'll have to give that a go. I'm always looking for more mangas like this. Where are we up to? Chin made me feel things that aren't in the Bible. I like how this is turned into a simping over the fit men in regular Ragnarok. Yeah, I think there's some pretty in the most unhomo way possible, some very attractive men in regular Ragnarok. We'll watch Rasputin show up and be an absolute hunk. Just watch it. It'll happen. He'll be chiseled as all hell. Daddy material. When this blindfold came off, I became entranced. My God. Why is chat so horny today? Bloody hell. Especially if a Valond can get a human fighter from human level to god level. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know how Valons work. It's like it said Valons. It's all we know is Valons let you fight gods. That's all that's ever said. So I don't know. Leonidas' headbutt seems to indicate, and there's loads of other examples that you don't need to damage them with Valons. But then Jack versus Heracles makes it clear that humans. I just don't know. God of High School is not accurate to the manhwa. Oh yeah, it's the same as God of High School has just got the anime at least has horrendous pacing and just cuts loads of shit out from what I've heard. It's almost as bad as the Noblesse anime, where they just started in the second arc of the series. They just skipped the first arc because there was some OVA that adapted the first arc. like 10 years before or something. Absolute mess. Bro, I won't even lie. The only reason I don't dislike Apollo is because he's hot. I mean, I'd like to think you like Apollo because his personality is great and his backstory is amazing, but if it's because he's hot, fair enough. And he dropped some cool lines during the match that helped. Twink Rasputin confirmed. We've already got Twink and Nostradamus, guys. We can't be doing that. We can't have another Twink. Though it's a bit unrelated to this, but since we're talking about Twinks, like, I think most people here know that I cosplay Ragnarok characters. I've done Shinji Huang, I've done Tesla, I've done Leonidas, I'm working on Apollo, and I kind of want to do Nostradamus. However, when I was talking to my cosplay friends, they were like, if you cosplay as Nostradamus, that is your gateway, and you will start cross-dressing. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And they said, yeah, it's just one twink, one femboy, and then you become a massive cross-dresser. And I'm like, I'm not about that. Because I know it will happen one day. I've been cosplaying long enough, and I've watched it. I've watched guys I've known for years. They do one twink cosplay, and then they cosplay bloody, what's it called? Astolfo from Fate. It's a slippery slope, guys. Very slippery slope. And Nostradamus might just be that slippery slope. Simmer is probably going to go hard with the gunplay, expecting some crazy sniper shots and him pulling a pistol for surprise attacks. I hope so. However, wouldn't surprise me. Apollo jumps into the ring, throws his gun away, pulls a spear out, becomes a spear user, and then jobs. I wouldn't put it past the authors with that, to be honest. I really wouldn't. Beelzebub is the kind of man who I want to make my wife and just provide for him. God damn it. We got a lot of twinks and hunks, but no bears. Rasputin could be the bear. We don't know that yet. Rasputin could be the bear. We haven't got any otters either. If we're using correct terminology here, we need some otters. Nostradamus is femboy hypnosis. Why do people like Simo? I think people like Simo. I think the main reason people like Simo is, one, he uses a gun, which makes him quite different from like every other fighter. Two, he's like the only modern day fighter. Like, he only died like 15 years ago or something like that. He's quite modern. He's also an absolute badass in history, and his design's cool, and he's got a dog. I think there's a lot of reasons to like Simo. And can you add Hitler to the roster? Hitler technically does appear in the manga. We see it when we see Brunhild looking at the humans, like all of humans. We do just see Hitler in the corner. Hitler would be an interesting pick. I don't think they'd get away with adding Hitler to the roster, but he could maybe end up on our fan roster. Let's have a look. Well, we'll have a see next stream. It's only a matter of time. That's what I've been told. People tell me that. As soon as you start cosplaying, it's a matter of time, guys. And I'm like, I'm not about that. I can't. I think even Apollo's just... That's the top of the slippery slope. Abudi, you're spitting about BOI. Want to take care of that man. If Rasputin is thick, he is winning for sure. Yeah, but if Rasputin's fighting Anubis, who do you want to win then? Do you want Anubis to win? Doggy Boy? Or do you want thick bear Rasputin? Whoever has the deeper backstory or appears first and more narrative importance wins the round. Yeah, I think the backstory things is... No, actually... I was about to say, yeah. Apollo does appear before Leonidas. I think page-wise, Leonidas has more back... Yeah, Leonidas has a lot more backstory than Apollo does, actually, now I think about it. Beelzebub is so house husband, like, please do your science and look like pretty well doing it. This is the most unserious stream ever due to me. I mean, this may be an unserious stream, but this is one of the best streams we've had in a while, because we're getting a bit raunchy in here. After Adam died, I almost dropped the series. So what? Like on chapter 8, isn't it? Chapter 8, you were gonna drop it, but decided to skip the Saki fight and basically watch Jax. I ended up enjoying rounds 4 and 5, so I went back to Saki's and thought it was okay. Well, personally, round 3 is my favourite round in the entire manga, so hurts me a little. But yeah, round 2, I like round 2 a lot. I love round 2. Even if the ending is sad, it is still like, it's top 3 for like my favourite endings to a round. I love the ending of round 2. I think it's sick. And I will say, reading round 3 after having read the depression that was rounds 1 and 2. It's such good catharsis. It's why round 3 is my favourite ending to a match, and is my favourite match, because it's such a great, it's just feeling humanity like finally win. Yeah, I love round 3 a lot. I loved round 3 the most, to be honest. Good, we got some round 3 support. I love round 3. Round 3 is amazing. Simo using the dog to sniff out his opponent to have some great spatial awareness in his fight could be so cool. I don't know, Shining Hero. If we're letting the dog get in the arena, the dog might die, and I don't think anyone would see the dog dying. Though, if Odin fights Simo, we could have the dog fighting his crows. What if that's it? Odin and Simo never enter the arena. It's just the dog enters and his crows enter and they just fight. That'd be pretty funny. Sasaki had me screaming on my phone. No operative streams, those were the days. He streams on uni nights that I go to sleep in the summer. I get locked back in. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's something I want to ask. Like, I only stream this time because it's convenient in my time zone. But, like, is this a convenient time for most people? Or is it too early, too late? I don't really have I don't know what time it is where you people live. It's a good time for me, just after work. But, yeah, I'm curious if this is a good time for people. Considering you guys seem to be you are the regulars that are usually here. I seem for you guys it's a pretty good time. Where are we up to? Bro, I want Anubis to have a scythe. Anubis with a scythe would go hard as hell. I think he's going to have a bone, like a bone club. He's going to have a bone club. He's going to have it in his mouth, and he's going to... That's curious. How's Anubis going to fight? I can maybe envision him fighting a bit like Watchdog Man does in One Punch Man, like on all fours. That'd be pretty funny. My top 3 in order is round 4, 3, and 2. Well, Corey G, I don't have them in that order, but those are my 3 favourite fights. For me, it's 3, 2, 4. But yeah, it's good that we have the same top 3, even if they're in different order. Round 2 needs to be reanimated, at least the final sequence needs it badly. Man, Flood, everything needs reanimating. Everything does. God, it's terrible. Odin and Simo have a Pokemon battle. Yeah, I think that would be good. It'd be a bit unfair for Simo. He's only got his dog versus 2 whole crows, but you know, I think the dog can pull it out. When you stream every month, it's always on the weekend night or end of the week, so I have nothing to do. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's sad I only stream once a month. I will try to stream. I will try to stream. What's it called? Before next chapter, because we want to get this fan roster in. I just kind of forget. I can't lie. I watched the anime after catching up, and it isn't that bad. The models look fantastic. It's just the fights that aren't up to par. For the anime, because I read the manga first, then watched the anime, and it's because the manga looks so good. And I think it's also the anime cuts a lot of stuff, and when you just feel stuff's missing, and then it's just a combination of stuff's missing, and you know it's missing, and then it also doesn't look great. And I don't particularly like the art style in the anime either. I don't think it really captures Ragnarok. So I don't know. The anime just does a lot of things wrong for me, but the music's very good. I do like the music a lot. I will say that. AMV University, bro, I got into the series because of Sensei Beats, and I thought Adam was the MC. My favourite round is 7. Yeah, I don't know how I got into Ragnarok to begin with. Oh, I know how. It's because I have no idea what channel it was, but they did a video, what if Yujiro was in Ragnarok, and I watched that, and I was like, what the hell is Ragnarok? So I read it, and it was very good. But yeah, thinking I knew about Adam before I read the series. But again, until I read the series, I didn't really know what it was about. So as soon as I saw they were around, I was like, okay, well, Adam will fight. And I was pessimistic from the beginning. I was like, Adam's going to lose this because I know he's cool, so he'll probably lose. It's the afternoon for me. Cool. Round 4 had good animation. Yeah, round 4 was pretty good. Round 4 did cut a lot of stuff out though, which again, for me, although the animation overall isn't terrible in Ragnarok, it's just there's certain points where it's awful. It's either fine or absolutely atrocious. There's never any bits I think are really good, and I just don't like the art style. The art style just doesn't do it for me. My top 3 are 7, 2, and 4. Really, 7? I mean, I like 7 a lot. Yeah, but I've not met someone who had 7 as their favourite. That is interesting. I guess a lot of the reason is because on the Reddit, people don't like Jinshi Huang and they love Hades, but then they think Hades was done dirty in the match. That's probably why people don't like round 7. That's probably why the Redditors don't like it. They took out Jesus. They did take out Jesus. I mean, Jesus didn't actually do anything anyway. He doesn't say anything. So I think it's a bigger loss that we lost the other two of the Sages. But yeah, taking out the Sages was just a shame. I was recommended Record of Ragnarok after catching up to Kengan. That's why I got into it. Yeah, I'd say Kengan and Record of Ragnarok have a lot of overlapping fans. Because I only got into Kengan through being a Baki fan, and then Record of Ragnarok's kind of related to those, and it kind of shares a fandom as well. I got into the anime because the Aphrodite memes. Well, Aphrodite's boobs are tiny in the anime. They're nothing on the bazungas we have in the manga. This was like 2 months ago. Well, that's pretty recent though. But fair enough. Yeah. Chin is probably one of my favourite characters ever written in manga. He's so charismatic, has such a cool moveset, and has swagger. He's such a good motivator for me to slay in a sleeveless crop top. Yeah, I will. Yeah, Jinshi Huang is just an absolute challenge. I don't know why people dislike him. Speaking of the crop top, though, actually, 1 minute. Find it. Is this what you got to wear in the gym? You got to wear the authentic Jinshi Huang vest thing. You got to give this man you got to wear this bad boy. I'm not putting it on though because it's falling apart and it's a pain ass to wear. But that's what you got to be rocking in the gym. You got to be rocking that thing. I will say if you ever wear it on a cold day, your back is absolutely freezing. Oh god, I'm falling back on these comments again. God, I'm really falling back. God damn. Justin Malik, my top 3 are rounds 4, 2, and 6. I love the round 6. I love the round 6 support. Not much round 5 support, I see. Round 5 I think is really underrated. But yeah, I love round 6. I don't think it's enough love for what it is. I watched the anime first and thought the first match was neat, but what hooked me was during the second fight. Yeah, I think round 1 has a lot. It's a matter of circumstances. It's the first round, so I feel it has to hook you on action. And although I like the action in Record of Ragnarok, I wouldn't say action is where the I'd say the storytelling in the fights is better than the fighting itself, at least for me. So round 1's a bit lackluster for me because it doesn't have as much of that. And because it is the first round and it's got to hook you, it can't be very long and it can't have loads of backstory because it's trying to hook you and show you what a round's like. So I think round 1 just kind of suffers from being the first round and it has to set up a lot. So I do think it's a shame in that respect. Anubis gonna... Oh, I've lost it now. Anubis gonna have shadow manipulation and fight Rasputin with a scythe or a bone staff. And I like the idea of uncontrollable nature. Also, why the art in the manga is so drastically different in rounds 1 and 2. I think for the art, it's just, them just trying to figure out style, I guess. I think if you read a lot of mangas, you notice the art style just kind of shifts over the story. And for Anubis using shadow manipulation, that would be cool. I wouldn't count on it, just on that fighters never seem to have as interesting a moveset as we may like. But the scythe or the bone staff would be really cool. What is Baki even about? Baki's it's a martial arts manga, and it's about the main character Baki is it's about him growing up with his mission to fight his father being Yujiro, who is the strongest creature on earth. He's there's no disputing it. He's just the strongest man to ever live, incredibly strong, and it's just. And he's not particularly nice guy. He's a bit of an arsehole. And so it's just Baki getting strong in order to fight his father. There's tournaments. There's a lot of tournaments, fights. There's a lot of stuff that happens in it. But at the core of the story is just a son wanting to beat his father. I think it's an incredibly good story, though. I'd highly recommend reading it. It's quite long. It's a very long story, but I think it's definitely worth a read. Where are we up to? Reckon Ragnarok could make for some good guidance and just what if these two fought one shots. Well, I guess we technically have guidance with like the spin-offs, like with the Lubu spin-off and the Jack spin-off. I guess they're similar as that, and they're pretty good. But the one shots if these two fought would be amazing. I'd love those. Yeah, I'd kill to see some of those. Top 5 characters in the manga: Chinchi Huang, Gojinu, Shizuku, Tokyo. Haven't read. Must apologise. Himiko, Major Tyson. Himiko is so cool. I'm not caught up yet with Major Tyson. I'm almost caught up, but so far from what I've seen from Himiko, amazing. Accelerator, a certain scientific accelerator, great choice, and Alucard. I'm assuming from what's the series called? Hellsing. All pretty cool. I'm a big fan of all of them. No way this man about to show us. God, I am really far back on these comments. Sorry. Yeah, you got to see it. He will become a femboy queen. Or roads lead to Astolfo. About the I'm not cosplaying Astolfo. However, Astolfo's big old lance and his like cloak, his cloak are pretty cool, and I think they're quite cool. I wouldn't mind making them, but then I'd have to wear them. So I don't know. My friend's a big Astolfo cosplayer. It's quite funny though. This friend of mine, he's like a massive. You wouldn't know he was into anime or a cosplayer because he's like this massive petrol head, and he races cars all the time. And then he went to a con with his friend, and he was like to his friend, "Oh, do you want to come to the con?" He's like, "Cool." He's like, "I'm gonna cosplay," and his mate was like, "Cool, sure." Turns up to the guy's house dressed as Astolfo. His mate's like, "What the hell are you wearing?" Then he goes to the con, dressed as Astolfo rider. That's when I meet him for the first time, dressed as Gilgamesh. We hit it off. Then a couple months later, I'm back in his hotel room helping him do his wig for his Astolfo saber. It's weird how you meet people. It really is. It's really weird. But yeah, slippery slope, guys. Always leads to Astolfo. Bro brought it out. I don't mind the art style. It works. Characters like Buddha, Kyojuro, and Poseidon, Hades. Well, it doesn't work for Shiva. Yeah, Shiva. I like Shiva's design. It grew on me, but I wouldn't say it's the best design in the series. That emoji is crazy. Flood is plucked 17. Oh no, what has happened to this stream? Round 9 is the lowest for me so far. Yep, fair enough. I know some people, it's not their cup of tea. I personally liked it, but you know, we all have our opinions. And at the end of the day, everyone has to have one round as their least favourite, and that's probably going to be someone's favourite round. So that's just how it is. I got in after round 7, so I was there for the round 8 marathon. Also, if you like Gojo, you should like Jin. Yeah, I'd say they're quite similar characters. I guess the big difference is that Jin's a nicer guy than Gojo, I'd say. Literally every round is peaked to an extent, so comparing lists ain't even controversial for real. Yeah, I don't think there's any bad rounds. I don't think no one unanimously thinks any of the rounds are awful. So I think, you know, it's fair enough. I kind of want Anubis to have a whip and a Rasputin to have a cane/staff, purely only for the visual. If they clash weapons, it will resemble the medical symbol of the two snakes wrapped around a stick. That's a cool idea. And if we really want to take the snake around the stick thing even more literally, considering that's the symbol of Hermes then jumps into the ring and 2v1s them like an absolute Chad he is. And then Hermes is all over the ring and wins Ragnarok. What is Baki even about is like a joke question because of all the out of context memes making you question what it's about. Yeah. Oh yeah, Baki. Yeah, Baki is. Oh, there's another series like it's Baki. There's another series where there's a lot of memes like that. Yeah, Baki's a just read or just watch it series. Because even if you know the main plot line, it does not explain half of the crap that happens in that manga. Astolfo cosplay in the Mercedes. That's life. Sadly, he doesn't have. Oh, what does he? I can't remember what it is. The Astolfo guy. He crashed his car the other day. Complete write-off. But then he used the insurance money to buy another car. So now he's racing in that. The Astolfo cosplayer. He messaged me the other day and was like, "Can you give me a list of trap characters I want to cosplay?" And I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Just give them to me. You've watched more animes than me." That is a wild ass story. I'm assuming that's the Astolfo one. My top 3 fights from worst to best: round 4, round 6, round 2, and round 2. Yeah, again, all good rounds. I only fully seen round 1 to 6 fully, with the exception of round 9, since I'm a anime mostly. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. I'll say, if you've got some good rounds to come, then I'll say that much. Four Nights of the Apocalypse Part 2 just started, and so far the sins are the focus right now. Barn has just had a fight where he gets one back for his son's base dad. Yeah, Four Nights of the Apocalypse. I am a bit behind. I need to catch up with the manga. It's cool. I guess it's cool. I appreciated a lot at the beginning that the sins weren't really involved, but again, I'm quite far behind, so I don't know if it's appropriate for the sins to be taking center stage again. All I'll say about that series is it did Jericho so dirty. Like, I've got a Jericho video on my channel, and it's about why I think Jericho's, like, arguably the best written female character in Seven Deadly Sins. And, like, all the comments are like, yeah, I agree. Just just as long as we don't count Four Nights of the Apocalypse. If you haven't read it yet, just know they do Jericho so badly. It's tragic. By the way, Kyojin Shizuku is an amazing character. Tokyo Duel is one of those mangas that made no sense, but the fight's incredible. Loved every fight, so intense and violent. I'll have to add it to my list. It sounds like a really good manga. Shizuku is such a smoke demon. He always wants to fight whenever and wherever. Fair enough. Give him Nostradamus for his trap list. I would give him Nostradamus, but I want to do Nostradamus, and I can't have him stealing. As far as I'm aware, because I'm quite, at least in the Western scene, nobody has done a Nostradamus cosplay, as far as I'm aware. I've never come across one, and I have looked. So I can't have him being the first Nostradamus cosplayer, can I? That's going to be me. I'm going to do it. But I got to finish Apollo first. Again, Apollo. No one's cosplayed Apollo yet that I've come across. So hopefully I'll be the first Apollo cosplayer. Hopefully. I was trying to be the first Leonidas cosplayer, but then a mate of mine, well, internet mate, he's I think he's Argentinian. Anyway, he cosplayed Leonidas like a month before I finished mine, so I can't take the credit for the first Leonidas cosplayer either, sadly. I love round 7 because it's the most straightforward and most well earned with no Deus Machina. Well, in terms of the Deus Machina, the Redditors seem to think so. Redditors think his sword, for some reason, is just this ass pull for some reason. I don't know why they think that, but they do. Yeah, round 7 is great. I definitely agree with people that Hades... I don't think Hades is underdeveloped. I think it's that a lot of Hades' like characterization writing is very subtle and it's not very in your face. So, like, yeah, I think the themes of round 7 are very clear. No, not they're very much set in stone. It's just they're not the clearest to understand from Hades' side, if that makes sense. I got to be the first Simo cosplayer. Abuya, I don't have to tell you this. I know two Simo cosplayers. I hate to tell you that, man, but I do know 2 Simo cosplayers. I know, very sad. Trying to think, is there anything else from the chapter we haven't talked about? Yeah, that was quite cool. Oh, I do want to quickly mention, just to really hammer home the themes of round 9. The fact that, like, after the match, all the women are like, Apollo, you better go get that scar healed because it's ugly. And Apollo's like, no, because and he's like, because that's like proof to him that what's it called? Proof to him that he fought with all his soul and it fits his thing. I just love it. I think Apollo getting a scar on the face is like one of the coolest parts around that. I think it really fits the themes and the characters. So I like that. I think Apollo at the end of this chapter is really cool. Also, like, oh, Apollo's in the med bay, but like, I know Apollo is actually really damaged at this point, but like, he doesn't look that damaged, to be honest with you. So anything else from the chapter? I'm just quickly skimming back through it because there were a few things I wanted to talk about, and I think we've already mentioned them all. We talked about tuberculosis, didn't we? We talked about goals development. Oh yeah, one thing I quickly want to mention, just because I find it funny, back when they're thinking about who should fight in round 10, Ghoul's reading out the names, and she's like, Rasputin, Nostradamus, Simo Haya, Sakata Kintoki, and then Okuta comes in. Why the hell does she read them in that order? Because if you actually look at the list of names, the list goes Okuta, Rasputin, Nostradamus, Simo, Sakata. So why did she read 4 of them, then go to the one above Rasputin and say Okuta? It's just weird. I just find it funny. just something I wanted to mention. The daily reminder for Hades spin-off manga of him and Beelzebub dealing with Nostradamus. That would be a hilarious comedy manga. It could be like, well, I guess you haven't read Baki, so it's not particularly relevant. But there's a Baki spin-off with Savosky and Gaia just being roommates, and I can see it being similar vibes to that. My internet acting up something. My internet's acting up something. My head. Imagine Ragnarok being animated by Mappa or Ufotable. Also, Boruto and the Apocalypse are reason you don't do sequels unless you plan for them. Ufotable would be amazing. I wouldn't wish it on Mappa because of those poor Mappa animators. They do not need another project on their hands. Like, if you ever read, like, on the actual reason why Mappa's so overworked and stuff, it's just scummy as hell. Just, like, one of the higher-ups in the company just went behind the back of, like, all the other people and just secured, like, and just said, oh, yeah, we'll do Chainsaw Man, and just got, like, another massive anime on their plate. Yeah, I feel bad for the Mappa animators, I will say, so I wouldn't wish Record Ragnarok on them. However, if they were in good health, I'd love to see them give it a go. Lolon got that fresh cut. Are we talking Kengan now? We got Kengan. Yo, Kengan fans in here. Yeah, let's talk some Kengan, guys. Do you because I think did I see someone mention the Beard God? Did someone mention the Beard God? Or am I just imagining that? I feel I imagined that. I swear I saw someone mention the Beard God. No? Okay. No. Okay, I just imagining things. I remember seeing that. Anyway, what's the word? Anyway, if we're quickly talking Kengan, last Kengan chapter was like the hypest thing in all of Kengan Omega. The Beard God is probably going to lose, but the Beard God is back, and anyone who doubted him is they're wrong. He's in a tier of their own. Kuroki is the absolute goat. Do you think Anubis will have abilities related to death? I'd like him to, but then at the same time, wouldn't surprise me if he just has a spear or something. Is there any god you think Leonidas could beat? Oh yeah, I think Leonidas. The issue with Leonidas versus Apollo is just too fast. Because if you like, I haven't got the exact numbers on hand, but Apollo hits Leonidas like 11 times on panel with punches and hits him with like 8 of these light arrows. And then whereas Leonidas, he lands one shield hit on Apollo, which Apollo blocks. Then he headbutts Apollo and then hits him once with a hammer and he goes down. And then narration goes on to say that the two of them are equal in damage, which it just shows the massive difference in attack, like the damage that Leonidas was dealing out compared to Apollo, and the massive difference in durability. I think it was just Leonidas was too slow to be landing hits that really hindered him. So in that sense, I think any fighter that isn't massively fast and will let him hit them, I think he has a good chance against. Like, I don't know if I'd say he beats Thor, but I think him and Thor would be a pretty high diff fight. I think him versus Shiva, actually no, Shiva's pretty fast, maybe not Shiva. Heracles I think would be a good fight. I just think Apollo was just like so fast. Like it's only because of how mad it is that Apollo gets so damaged from what amounts to like one actual proper hit, and Leonidas takes so much damage and is just kind of fine. Yeah, so that's my take on it at least. Oh yeah, imagine Ragnarok being. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the Boruto things. Yeah, Boruto. Like, I don't actively read Boruto, but one of the YouTube channels I edit for is a Boruto channel, and I do edit. So I kind of know what Boruto. I'm up to date on Boruto from the fact I edit Boruto videos, not actively choosing to read it. And it is a bit of a mess at the moment, I will admit. And there's stuff I really like about Knights of the Apocalypse, but I don't think it's the best executed thing in the world. Though at the same time, it's about as well executed as Sins is in planning and stuff. So I still think it's pretty good. But Boruto, I'm not a big fan of. Lolong got the fresh cut. Yep. Where are we up to? You said it before in a video that got me to subscribe, where Kinley duty aligned with his desire, while Hades didn't. He did do anything for himself. Yeah, like that's kind of the big thing is both Chin and Hades had their duty as king and as brother. But the difference is that Hades had nothing apart from being the big brother to his brothers. That's all he had, and because of that, he was kind of chained. He had nothing. He had no desires beyond that. Whereas Jin, as well as having his duty as a king, also had his own personal desires, and because he fought with his personal desires on top of his duty, it surpassed Hades, who only had his duty and had nothing beyond that. I think round 7's really cool, well written. Beowulf in Ragnarok would be cool. Man who slayed monsters with his bare hands and wielded swords not meant for men to use, like he lifted giant swords. Oh yeah, Beowulf would be cool. Also because we get to see Grendel and Fafnir in his flashbacks, which would be pretty cool. Mapper workers do 17-hour shifts like it's nothing. It's tragic. Oh god, yeah. I feel so bad for mapper workers. It's also like episodes get finished hours before they air, and it's just like I think the whole industry in Japan is just, I don't just mean manga. I just work yeah, it's just horrendous. Like the average overtime in that country is just shockingly high. Yeah, so it's not like, I like a lot that comes out of Japan, but their work ethic is one thing that I just think is quite criminal, especially because they don't, like, Japanese medics don't believe in mental health at all. So being depressed or being overworked, it's not really a factor that comes into their healthcare. So there's a reason depression rates and suicide rates are so high in Japan. It's quite tragic. And it also applies to the manga industry, and like, because we're enjoying Ragnarok and all these mangas, it is a bit of a shame that the people that make these amazing works don't have the best work situation. But you know, it's something we can't really change. You just, I guess, as long as you're knowledgeable, as long as you're aware of it and you take steps to be have, I don't know. I just think it's good to be aware of where the stuff we enjoy comes from, if that makes sense. Wait, this confirms the humans fight order. It could do. I don't think it does. This, because that is the exact same fight order as on when we first saw the roster. It just happens to be that all the remaining fighters are just at the bottom of the list for some reason. But like the first on the, if you're looking at the list Gore was reading, Qin Shi Huang is the first on there, so it's not the actual fighting order. It's right under AMV's Four Knights comment. I've no idea. Wait. Oh wait, is this the bloody? Is this about the Kuroki? I do not see a Kuroki comment, but it might have been there. Sorry. Apollo boxed him like Gaolong versus Agito. Oh, Gaolong versus Agito, such a cool fight. I must admit. I'm a Kuroki fanboy, so I'm on cloud 9. All I'll say is, again, this is Redditors. People have been saying for ages that Agito had just surpassed Kuroki, and I'm like, Kuroki's on another level. He was green at the end of Ashura, and he's been training. So I was always a believer in the Beard God, and all the Kengan fans know that the Beard God is here, and he is about to cause. Well, he's already, like, if you want to do the power scaling, he's so impressive because Mukaku was like, Oma looked at Mukaku and was like, this guy's on another level, and then Shen nerfed himself to fight Mukaku and still just stomped him, and then Kuroki is fighting a non-nerfed Shen, and he's damaged him. It's just insanity. It just shows how strong Kuroki is. It's amazing. Leo probably only beats Sejun. No, come on, you can't be dissing Leo like that. No, Leo's the Chad. Leo can. No, you guys are too mean on my boy Leo. God. People were filing Kuroki apologies for doubting my goat. It was special. Oh yeah, there's just nothing you can say to it. There's nothing you can say to that if you were dissing Kuroki. There's just nothing to say. This says it all. This interaction. Oma will get it back in blood. Yeah, Oma's just chill at the moment. He doesn't do anything. Since Anubis is an animal type god, he could be one of the fastest characters in the verse behind Zeus, Apollo, and maybe Poseidon. Yeah, it could be. Again, I don't like speculating on powers or strength because I'm usually wrong, and it's just so unpredictable. Can't believe people doubted Naruto. Oh, I was a big Naruto supporter as well. People saying, because like if he's one of the two kings of Purgatory, that means he's one of the two kings of Purgatory. I don't know why people are like, oh yeah, he is a king, but he's not really worthy of the title. He's not on Lo Long's level. And I'm like, well, of course he is. Like, He only lost because of the rules and because of his, like, he was fighting as a judo man. Like, I don't know. I had my stocks in Joruto versus Agato. So did I. From the beginning, I was always believing. Oma couldn't even sense Shen until Bro knocked out Fusi and Inaba. He got level up. Yeah. Well, because the weird thing is Oma's still top. Oma was like top tier. Like he's still on like Ryan level and Agito level. And then we've just got Kuroki, who's just a massive level above. And then we've got Shen, who's even above that. So yeah, the power scale in Ashura, Omega, sorry, is just a bit of a hot mess at the moment, I must admit. Oma got a lock in meet up with that third Tokita Nico, learn that real Nico style. Now what happened is bloody Koga. Is it? Yeah, it's Koga. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting this wrong. Wait, no, the protagonist is Koga, right? I'm not going mad, am I? It is Koga, right? Yeah, it's Koga. I don't know why. For a minute, I thought I was just misremembering. Yeah, Koga will learn. He'll master the bloody Nika style and then teach it back to Oma because he is the GOAT, apparently. He's still not even the top tier, and I expect him or Koga to beat Shen. Oh, it's going to be Koga, guys. Koga will learn the principles, and he will just beat Shen. And Ryuki, the one who's really got to lock in. Everyone who isn't Shen's got to hit the gyms. I'm still hoping Machio-san from How Heavy the Dumbbell Should Lift will come in and just one-shot Shen, because he should be top 5 in the verse based on the shit that happens in his manga. Not gonna lie, I want Kiryu back. Yeah, well, you know, he's not relevant at the moment. I don't know. When did we last see him? We saw him in the Inside, didn't we? But he didn't really do much, right? I could be just completely misremembering. It feels like ages ago we were in the Inside. Oma called the man Mukaku a monster in human form, and then Mukaku is just canonically way weaker than Kuroki, who is probably a lot weaker than Shen. So, yeah, Shen's a monster. I want Kiryu to kill the last Nico. God, poor Nico. Bloody hell. Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, a lot of people want Oma to fight Tiger Nico, but I don't know how strong Tiger Nico is, to be completely honest with you. It's a bit ambiguous how strong it actually is. Like, bruh, Abudi, we're finna get a flashback showing Tiger Nico beating up Kiryu. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, probably. We could get Napoleon or George Washington. Napoleon would be sick. Napoleon would be really cool. Because we just had the Napoleon movie when I watched it. I will say that Joaquin Phoenix had his Napoleon Riz in that movie, which is quite funny. If you know anything about history, it's a bit of a hard watch because so much of it's just wrong. And the movie has a take on Napoleon, which it does really well. It's just a very, very strange take on Napoleon. I wouldn't say it's an awful movie, but it's a weird movie. That's all I'll say. I believe Kiryu got that fraud in a body bag. Let me go. Leo is no fraud. He just got with backstory no jutsu. He hates Sukuna. He can't be that. Bro, who the hell is Katsuya, and why were people saying he would show up to fight Shen? Oh, you don't know who Katsuya is? Oh, Katsuya. Wait, let me find it quickly. Let me find it. Oh, where is his face? Katsuya, if you don't know, is the strongest mongoloid, and he's an absolute chat. Let me find it. Let me quickly switch to this quickly. This is him. This is the boy. This is the boy here. This boy. Back to that. Yeah. Katsuya is canonically probably... Well, I think Shen's stronger. He is, with the exception of Shen, probably the strongest character in the Kangenverse. Yeah, he's from Fist of the Seeker, and he's an absolute chat. I mean, considering we know how much of a Chad Joji is, and Joji's also a Fist of the Seeker character, and what's his name? I can't think what his name is now. I can't remember his name. He's I can't think of the character's name now. It's he's also from Fist of the Seeker. Oh, he's the Cosmos Master. Him. He's cool because, as far as I'm aware, he's the only Kenganverse character who's appeared in every Kengan series. Or has he appeared in the new one with the women MMA? I don't know if he's appeared in that. But yeah, he's an absolute chad too. I I'm planning to make a story combining mythology and religion. One idea to connect Norse mythology and the Christianity is to have the serpent that tricked Eve be Loki. That's a cool idea, to bring down humanity's downfall. I will say, that sounds really cool. What I find so much interesting about that concept is how you weave, like you've said with Loki being the serpent, is how you weave all the different mythologies together. Because that's one of my big issues with Ragnarok, is it doesn't really explain how all the different mythologies kind of interact. But I think that's so fun. It's like in the Percy Jackson series, when they did the sequel, The Egyptians, it kind of annoys me because none of it intercepts with the Greek stuff. And I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that the Greek creation myth is canon and also the Egyptian one. So the world building kind of falls apart. But that, if you can get the world building down, that sounds amazing. Bro, I seen a video saying that Watsuki would fight Tiger Nico, and I can't lie, he was cooking in that vid. I don't know if Watsuki's an important enough a character to fight the Tiger Nico, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure what scenario he'd ever fight him. However, if the video was cooking, then I'd have to watch the video and find out what the reasoning is. But yeah. The interim's back, guys. The cat wants to go out again. God damn it. Where are we up to? Oh, bro, we could put Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or Andrew Tate. We could not have Andrew Tate. Imagine Andrew Tate in that ring. I mean, to be fair, Andrew Tate was actually a pretty good fighter back in his day, so that's something. Andrew Tate is the most random pick ever. Well, no, Andrew Tate, like, canonically, in real life, he was a pretty good fighter, so we can't ignore that. He'd also have some interesting philosophies for the thematics of the fight. Weirdly, though, Andrew Tate, I don't like the guy much. I think he has some really dumb takes, but he made a take recently on, like, the Gaza situation, and it's, like, one of the most... It's like one of the best takes I've seen on it, and I'm like, why is Andrew Tate of all people saying this? So yeah, interesting how the turns table, but yeah, Andrew Tate would be hilarious to fight. Walker getting his revenge against the Nico style that continue whoops his ass would be cool. Yeah, Walker's not that. It is quite funny. I think Wao Long should do it. Wao Long, W Long. He is the best. He should come in and he should one-shot Shen like the boxing Chad he is. Kuroshi, he canonically must masturbate. I forgot he does that in Fist of the Seeker. I completely forgot that happened. Amazing. It's on par with, if anyone's read Golden Kamuy, there's a sperm fight where these two guys are just jacking it off and just like coming on each other as they fight. I'm pretty sure it's been animated now. I think it was in the latest season. Oh my god, it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, the meat beating in Fist of the Seeker is hilarious. Specifically because Sandro cannot draw for shit, so it looks amazing. What was Sandro cooking? Sandro cooks some absolute madness. His foreign policy takes are hella good. The vid was made by Dio Blitz. He has a chill king creator, makes good stuff. I will give it a check out after this stream. I've got a few things to check out now. That'd be cool. Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul in Ragnarok. Which of them betrays and joins the gods? Jake Paul betrays for Jake Paul betrays for clout, and then humanity has to bring Andrew Tate in to fight him. Golden Kamuy is incredible. Yeah, Golden Kamuy is great. It's got the sperm fight. Golden Kamuy with the bear on the train. Actually, no. That could be a spoiler. I don't know if that's in the anime yet. In the manga, at least, there's a bear on the train at one point. It's hilarious. Also, Hades, Lucifer, and Satan would be different characters. Lucifer would have given Loki the idea to trick Eve, since he despises humans. Lucifer would also have fought King Arthur at some point. Man, Anime Master, you are cooking here. You're absolutely cooking. I'm curious to taste what this stew's going to be end up when you get round to this. I don't know what Koriji is wanting to what, because a lot of mad stuff's been said recently. If Rasputin does end up being a human trait in Ragnarok, I personally want Teddy Roosevelt to fight Anubis, since they said death came to him in his sleep because he would have fought him. Look, we don't need any more humans. We've got enough humans on the roster as it is. We have one too many. But yeah, Roosevelt will be pretty fun. I honestly, if there's one bit of history I'm not particularly knowledgeable on, it's American history. I'm sure Americans have good history. I just don't know much about it. All I know is that Lincoln was an absolute Chad. Like, he was a wrestler who used to just pick people up by the throat and just hold them and slam them down like an absolute Chad. Ogata is so genuinely well written, and Tsurumi is like a top 5 written character. Ogata's amazing. I love Sniper Boy. I can't remember his name. The guy who's based on Simo. He's an absolute Chad. But my favourite character is what's his name? It's been a while since I read the manga, so I'm forgetting names. But the Escape King, Shirahoshi. I can't remember his name. But if you've read Golden Kamuy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Especially because I love the real life person he was based on as well. That guy was really cool. I think there's so many cool characters in Golden Kamuy. Sugimoto is another cool one. One of my good mates is a Sugimoto cosplayer, so I'm usually hanging around with Golden Kamuy cosplayers as well. Kureshi is so chill. I totally drink with him. I'd hope for a Hatsumi spin-off where he where he tours the world fighting strong people. Kureshi is so chill. He'd be fun to drink with, like Joji. Joji, absolute Chad. Lastly, I thought he's based on Ludmilla since he has her last name. Pamachina, what the? Paisley, I thought he's based on Ludmilla since he had. Shirahashi, yeah, that's the name exactly. Andrew Jackson was the wildest president. What did Andrew Jackson do? What did this guy do? Andrew Jackson, the 7th president. What did this geezer do? He was a lawyer. If you can tell me what's so cool about this guy, I'd love to know. Shout out to Hatsumi, man. He tricked me and Ashura with the Agato fight. Yeah, Hatsumi's an absolute Chad. Hatsumi was a massive Chad in his most recent fight as well. That was a top tier fight as well. Come on, cat. Oh, this cat's giving me a workout tonight. A slacker who still finds success. His comeback match against Canada was amazing, though. I caught up when that fight started. Oh, yeah, the fight was great. I did have my stocks in Canada, I must admit. But I think considering it's Canada, he did absolutely amazing in that match. He did incredibly well for like who he was. I am still waiting for my boy who stands with the legends to be rocking up. But, I don't think he's going to be doing anything because is it Icy? It's Icy King, isn't it? Is it Icy King? Is that what his epithet is? Icy Emperor, sorry. Yeah. Himura is like my favourite character in Kengan because he talks such a big game and then loses to Canada. He didn't even make it into the Berserker Bowl. He lost in the preliminaries. But like when he's like, oh, he's a man who stands among the legends. He's on par with the legends. And he does nothing. But I love Himura. Himura is like the best character. I love Himura so much. I kind of hope he never actually does anything just because it's so memey that he talks such a big game and then does nothing. Hatsumi self-hatred is something I kind of relate because I used to loathe my laziness. Yeah, Hatsumi is like a... Cat, stop that. Hatsumi is like one of the more... I'm not saying Kengan characters on the whole are not like well developed. It's just because there's so many of them. A lot of them don't have much depth to them besides... much depth besides what's shown on the surface. But I think Hatsumi is one of the few characters where he has a bit more to him than just what he's actively saying and doing. And Himura, now I'd win. Himura is just that. Himura is that guy. I like how we've just got time skip Himura in Omega was on timing 24/7. Himura is amazing unless he's in a Kengan match, and as soon as he's in a Kengan match, he just loses. I love how we've just turned this into a Kengan stream now. Great. I don't think I've ever made a Kengan video on this channel, but Kengan stream now. Alexander the Great. Oh, I'd love Alexander. I will say, Iskander, Alexander's Persian name in Fate Zero, is like one of my all-time favorite characters. Absolute Chad. And Alexander the Great just was such a cool character in general. Absolute Chad character. He was a real person. Such a cool historical figure. One of my favorites. Absolute Chad. Although he did get real sad when his boyfriend died. And then he died not long after. Don't ask. Oh yeah, and Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu would be amazing. I can just imagine Sun Tzu's in there and like he's doing like a Buddha and dodging all their moves because like, oh, I planned so many steps ahead. I understand battle so well. I know what you're gonna do. And Genghis Long. Who the hell is Genghis Long? I'm not familiar. There's too many cool historical people. Genghis, no clue. And Achilles. Achilles would be cool. And what was that? Ziho? Oh, the Chinese military guy. Yeah, I know him. Pretty cool. There's some cool stuff. We'll be hopefully get some of these in the fan roster. Don't ask women their age, but more importantly, don't ask Himura what happened in this match of Haru. Fucking hell. God damn it, Himura. Himura is our man. Hanafusa is so underrated. I love his excessive prep time, like he's over to me. Yep. Absolute Chad. Bro, we cooking in the stream. Bro, that fan roster finna go crazy. Yeah, the fan roster's gonna be great. I'll have to Photoshop up a nice little graphic for us to put the names on. I guess obviously we're not going to do it now, but in next, I think what we're going to do for the fan roster is we obviously 13 humans, 13 gods. I think we should work out personalities, like at least we'll at least figure out like what kind of personality they'll have, and then what their divine weapon strength for Lond would be, just so it isn't just listing some names. So we'll have a bit more. We'll do a bit more to it, and then once we've got our, I think it'd be more fun if we don't do like gods and then what human they fight. We'll do either all the gods first and all the humans first, and then we can match up the ones that we have on each side. So it's more like in universe where they're not like predetermined. I think that'd be more fun. But yeah, I will. Maybe, probably not next week, but the week after. I'll probably pencil it in and try to get it out then. Maybe next week. I'll have to check my schedule. Himura, he's on par with the legends. The icy Kappa. No, it's not Cap. It's not Cap. It's just off screen. Off screen, he's a Chad. He's like Blackbeard with his off screen hacky. Did stream die? Okay. And then the 2 messages later is like, are we back? I think so. There we go. Sorry if that dropped off. Sorry, can't do anything about that. I don't anything Rasputin, but I don't know anything about Rasputin, but this guy that defies death, it would be cool if he can keep fighting while in the green state and breaking apart to be more extreme version of Adam. In real life, Rasputin was just very lucky at not dying. It wasn't like he was getting like his head chopped off and surviving. It's more like they were poisoning him and it just wasn't killing him. But I'm sure him defying death will be a big part. Whether he is like immortal or he's just using trickery, it'll definitely be part of his match. I'd be very surprised if it isn't. Bro, Musashi. Is that what's that in relation to? For the fan roster. We know what Musashi's like. He's far inferior to Sasaki. Did you read the new Baki chapter? I did. I am loving the direction of this. The Jack and Yujiro stuff is great. What I will say about it is I think we often underestimate just how much Yujiro changed from the father-son fight, because obviously Baki gets a lot out of it, but I think we kind of forget how much Yujiro got out of that fight too, and I think this is a great example of how much Yujiro's changed from that fight as well. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jack's going to be cooking up soon. Mizase is underrated, to be honest. He has the chin appeal of super strong, fresh in a suit, and had swagger. He also, he counters with his elbows. As you do with what's it called? It's Palek, isn't it? I cannot think what it's called now. What's the martial art he uses called? I feel bad now. It's a Southeast Asian one, isn't it? It's does it not even say on the wiki? Come on, show me. What does he fight with? Salat, sorry, yeah, Salat. Yeah, Penak Salat, or whatever it's called, yeah. Yeah, Mizasa is an absolute chaz. He bodied the monkey. Harry Houdini versus Loki. That'll be fun. Yeah, I'd quite like that. That'd be a fun match. Harry Houdini is cool as hell. Yeah. Harry Houdini, like in like pop culture, he's cool. In real life, he was an absolute chad as well. There's like this thing where this trick where he appeared from, like he they got like a dead turtle, and then he like crawls his way out of the mouth of the dead turtle. Absolutely raw as hell. Was asked to replace Cosmo in early Omega as the blonde twink. There's enough twinks for everyone. We can have both our twinks together. Bro, he fucked up Yumi. Yeah, but Yumi's a fraud. Get Yumi out of here. So that's that. Oh yeah, it's because the chat's like little bit delayed from me, so I'm just now seeing people just spamming Salat in the chat. Yeah, it was Salat. It's weird. Like, yeah, Salat. Yeah. Yumi kind of deserves it though. Yumi's an absolute idiot. Shout out to the Raid duology. I'm probably gonna have to call stream soon because we've been streaming for nearly 2 hours now. So if you've got any last questions, I'd get them in now. And then soon I'll try we will get the fan roster in soon. It'll be next stream. I promise on this one. If I were to put musicians in Ragnarok, I'd add Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain would be sick as hell. No, that was dark. I was about to say something really dark then. I'm not going to say that. But yeah, he'd be really cool. I'd like to like Elvis, King of Rock. Have the King of Rock in there. That'd be pretty fun. Because if you have a musician, you need the king. And have someone much younger. Yeah. Jack Hanma versus Jack the Ripper would be interesting. They both use artificial means to beat their enemies. Han uses artificial strength and Rip uses trickery. That would be a pretty fun match, actually. Because it would just be stuff like... I could just imagine, like, you know when Jack throws the manhole cover? He just throws that, and then Jack just catches his mouth and just takes a big bite out of it. Yumi ruined the reputation of the Fang and Metsudos. Yeah, but there's a reason Yumi wasn't around for long as a Fang, because he's an absolute fraud. Please say the Kurt Cobain joke. It must have been mind blown. No, I'm not saying the Kurt Cobain. You've got the gist of the Kurt Cobain joke. We're not going to be making fun of Kurt Cobain's death and what his Valon could be based on his death, but we're not doing that. Top 5 record Ragnarok men you would smash. As a man who's confident in his sexuality, I wouldn't be smashing any of the record Ragnarok men. However, that said, Qin Shi Huang at number 1, Apollo number 2, Nostradamus number 3, Leo number 4, and Tesla number 5. There we go. That's what I'm going with. Yeah, you got to have Nostradamus up there, but you got to have the twink energy. You have because I'm doing this back to back. This is the order I'm going at them at. So you have the twink, and then you have the beefcake straight after. I might have to like private the stream like after we finish, because I don't know if I can bear this being on the internet. Me describing how I'd take Nostradamus from behind, then get done from behind afterwards by Leo. Abudi, so I assume this is your smashes. Hades, Poseidon, Apollo, Loki. You know he's a real freak, bloody hell. And then Jin. I'm very gay, I can take all of them. Oh, this stream's gonna go down in Saturday in history. It's the raunchy stream. But okay, so if no one else has got any last comments, then I guess we're gonna end the stream on which record Ragnarok men we're getting done behind by, or we're doing from behind. We'll see. Okay, Anime Master. One last question. My story would have Norse mythology, Hindu, Greek, Japanese, Chinese, and Christianity. It's a lot of mythologies. I'm very excited to see how you'll intermingle them all. If I can make a request. Maybe fit Mesopotamia in there too. It's an incredibly underrated mythology, but I imagine you've got your hands full enough with all of that, because yeah, especially like Japanese has so much going on, and especially because you're going to have loads of overlapping gods of the same thing. So yeah, and the creation story as well. I'm just really excited to see how it comes out. So you got to keep me updated, man. The raiding comes as a surprise challenger from a top rank. To be fair, he's probably got the most game of any of the fighters. Let's be honest. He's got the most game here. At least he's got the experience with all different types of body types, as we see with all those women he's sleeping with. This stream had 17 viewer peak. It's the most successful based on numbers. So that's what we do. If we want that's what we do. It's if we want views, we talk about hot anime men. Excellent. An idea for the roster: you pick 2 from each pantheon. That would be quite interesting. Yeah, actually, so we don't end up, because I know what this chat's like. We could end up with 13 Greek gods just for the meme. I mess with that top 5 ability. Replace Poseidon with Beelzebub and with Saint for real. You smite as reference for the god roster. Okay, yeah. Bella's not just soft top. No, he probably cries. Okay, that's it. We're ending stream here on that one. Bloody hell. You broke me, guys. You've absolutely broke me. Okay, we're ending stream here. Thanks, guys, for such an enjoyable stream. I didn't expect us to get onto some of these topics, but we did. I'm glad nobody I know in real life has stumbled across this, because this would be interesting to explain. But okay, so yeah, so the conclusion of the stream is, Okay, so this is the conclusion of the stream. I will do Nostradamus from behind, and then Leo will do me from behind afterwards, and that is what we're leaving it